What is meditation? The word meditation in a spiritual context means to have contemplation or reflection, reflect on or ponder over a subject of thought. Thoughts, simply defined as the materialistic conceptualization or creations of the non-materialistic intuitive knowing. Contemplation and reflection. To contemplate and be reflective is simply to break down a thought as to the origins and then to reflect upon oneself as to the generation of that thought. Dhyana, known as dhyana in Sanskrit or jhana in Pali, is the withdrawal of the mind from the phenomenal existence and moving the mind from the manas, this body mind, to the citta, the spiritual essence, to develop prajna, known as insight. This is a pre-Buddhist meditational practice that still continues today with many Buddhist sects. Some early Buddhist schools teach that there are many different levels of jhana, or stages of them, and some use a breath meditation or ask the practitioner to focus on an object such as a picture, a colored disc, or even a flame or pool of water. Shikantaza. This term literally means seated meditation that is practiced by the Chinese Kaldong school of Zen Buddhism, and there is no particular goal or object of focus like in dhyana, and no levels of meditation either. Later schools such as Rinzai ask the student to focus on a koan or even a word during shikantaza. Zazen. This is the Japanese word for shikantaza. However, the 12th century Tendai monk Dogen uses the word zazen to describe his Buddha nature absorption method that is unique and apart from the Kaldong shikantaza or the early Buddhist dhyana. There is a lot of confusion in Western Zen centers as to what zazen means, where some interpret it to be dhyana, others as shikantaza, and a few, as how Dogen himself describes it, as an absorption method. Zen as a holy practice. If we are to view zazen as holy, then we create a performance art out of this that is observable by an outsider and can be measured, ranked, and categorized. In this, it becomes a materialistic creation of mind, and by that mere fact is then subjected to the laws of causation leading to suffering. So zazen cannot be holy because it is materialistic arising that is subjected to decay and brings suffering. Zen without zazen. There is ample evidence and writings that Zen patriarchs did not view any performance art such as seated meditation as a valid teaching or the path of Zen. Huineng, the sixth patriarch, said, "To concentrate the mind on quietness is a disease of the mind and not Zen at all. What an idea, restricting the body to sit still all the time. That is useless. Listen to my verse. To sit and not lie down during one's lifetime. To lie and never sit during one's death time. Why should we thus task the stinking bag of bones?" The lamp of the mind. The truth is understood by the mind, not by sitting in meditation. D.T. Suzuki. It is like the lamp and its light. As there is a lamp, there is light. If no lamp, no light. The lamp is the body of the light, and the light is the use of the lamp. They are differently designed, but in substance they are one. The relationship between dhyana and prajna is to be understood in like manner. Intuition. From the book Secret of Zen. Zen, or in Sanskrit dhyana, is more at intuition. The English word intuition comes from the Latin word inturi, which means to look at, gaze, pay attention to, consider, contemplate. This is nothing less than direct knowledge, a superior knowledge. Intuition, you can say, leaps over reasoning and inferring, and more importantly, thought itself. Almost instantly, the Zenist sees what the Buddha saw. This takes us to the Zen's no thought. Zen beyond the Zendo. In Japanese Zen, the halls where one engaged in the performance art of Zazen is known as the Zendo. According to Dogen, the 12th century Tendai monk, Zazen is the absorption of Buddha nature that is generated by all things, such as grass, trees, and the very ground itself. It is this absorption that transforms the practitioner to a Buddha, but Dogen teaches is not supported by the Keldong of China or by the Mahayana canon. It is in fact a new religion. Zen, in essence, is the art of seeing into the nature of one's own being, and it points the way from bondage to freedom. D.T. Suzuki, Essays in Zen Buddhism. Unbound. The Tathagata uses all sorts of simile to explain all kinds of things, but there is no simile that can explain this Dharma. Why? Because the road of intellectual knowledge is cut off. The Dharma is inconceivable. The practice of the Zen aspirant is to relinquish, abandon, and renounce all that blocks and hinders the direct knowing of intuition and knowing one's own Buddha nature. This practice is not a performance art or anything externalized, as in sets up a materialistic notion or conception. Just as one cannot simply shave head and wear a robe to become a Buddha, one cannot simply perform a performance art and be enlightened. Yet, how is it today Zen students think just this? The impossible practice. Your very own Buddhahood is obscured by the creation of this false self, the one that reflects in this phenomenal suffering existence that you call me, myself, and I. The only way to realize your Buddhahood is to renounce all that is illusionary, false, and that creates suffering. This is the true practice, the true meditations of the Bodhisattvas and the way of Zen. This practice is difficult, one that very few will want to do, and thus many slide into false practices such as seated meditation, or even fantasy notions such as absorption theologies that are all materialistic creations of mind and only create suffering. Thank you. Please remember to like and subscribe. Support this channel on Patreon. Link is the first comment below.